So this video is about the solar day versus the sidereal day. So the Earth, if we're looking from the top, where that will be the North Pole, is spinning on its axis in this direction. And so as it rotates, the sun will appear to pass overhead from east to west during each day. And the solar day is the time it takes for the sun to appear overhead, so midday from one day, to directly overhead midday the next day. And that's called a solar day. And that takes 24 hours. And as I said, it's the time it takes for the sun to appear overhead one day, overhead the next day. Now, sidereal day is slightly shorter. Sidereal day is 23 hours and 56 minutes. Now, a sidereal day is not based on the sun, but based on distant stars. So that from one day to the next is not when the sun is overhead, but when a distant star is in the same place. So if we imagine a distant star over here, we see it here, and then after one complete rotation, we would see it again in the same position. That takes 23 hours and 56 minutes. The solar day is longer because we are in orbit around the sun. So if we take the sun here and the Earth orbiting, so the tiny dot there is the Earth, as the Earth is rotating on its axis, it's also following along its path around the sun. So as the sun rotates, it will also move along its axis a little way. So from one day to the next, the Earth might be here to start with, and as it rotates, it moves along its path and moves to, say, here. Now, that tiny movement along the axis makes a big difference because the sun appears roughly at that position, but you can see that the sun is now slightly further back. So this amount of time is the time it takes for the Earth to do one complete rotation on its axis. This amount of time is one complete rotation plus a tiny bit more to account for the fact that as it's passing around, it needs to rotate a tiny bit more in order for the sun to be in the same place. Sidereal is shorter because it's the time for one complete spin. Solar is longer because it's one spin plus a little extra bit to get the sun round into the same position relative to the Earth.